Hey everybody, welcome to On Grade. This is episode 8. I have Halston Holcomb in studio. Devin is currently in Houston, working on a big project for certain people I'm not allowed to talk about, but the guy that owns Twitter, so that should give you a hint.
It's pretty straightforward.
But I just wanted to say it's hot as fuck. It's third week of June and it's already over 100 fucking degrees. So welcome to Texas. It's the first day of spring or summer, they said. And I'm like, it's been summer for like 6 fucking weeks down here, dude. What are you talking about?
It's way too hot. It's already way too hot. I got my guys calling me, and myself, I had some shirts done for the company, and I had them done in black just to kind of have some good shirts, and I wasn't expecting my guys wearing them to the job, and then they started wearing them. I was like, oh, we got to go to high vis. This isn't going to work. These are way too hot.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do that this year. Do the high vis t-shirts. Everybody's starting to wear them, and one of my guys was wearing one the other day. I said, hey, I'll get these screen printed if you want. He goes, dude, if you buy me one of these, dude, I'll wear this motherfucker every day. I was like, all right, dude. So I was going to get them all like 4 of them so they can walk, 4 or 5 so they have one for every day of the week. They're going to sweat in them.
Yeah, same thing I did. Yeah. And it was weird. So we're back on a commercial job right now. And it was like, oh, we got to have vests out there. We got to have hard hats. They keep losing their vest. I'm like, all right, we're just going to get high vis shirts. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to cost a lot less. Y'all can wear them. They're breathable. Let's just do that. Because it's
hard hats and high vis vests. I don't know what it is. They just lose them like fucking cotton candy.
No, and then stepping out of the truck, especially on these commercial job sites, and you got a safety guy out there.
You better have your safety glasses, your boots on, your vest, everything, man. It's no joke.
I know they will hop on you so quick. I'm like, we're gonna get rid of these high vis vest, and we're just gonna straight to shirts. And since this, I think I got them yesterday, the day before last, and they've been awesome. Not going back. And got them logoed up, ready to go. Now everybody's got their shirts on. Everything's good to go.
Yeah. It's a game changer. I always wear like these kind of polos underneath, even though they're black. They breathe really good.
Oh, the golf polos?
Yeah, like these.
I know, and you look good.
These
in
like
it too.
511 polos or golf polos, like you said. I don't know where Steph got these for me. I think Walmart, but they breathe great.
I know. I'm in the same one right now.
Yeah,
and they're awesome.
Yeah.
And anytime that I'm actually going to do a quote or I'm going on a commercial job, I'll wear them too.
Yeah,
they're great.
You look more professional because you're wearing a collared shirt. Mm-hmm. And, yes, is it just as comfy as a T-shirt? Pretty much. But
I would argue it's better.
I'm old school. I love a T-shirt. But, I operated for years, so I didn't wear a collared shirt. Mm-hmm. And when I became a foreman, the place I worked at, they were like, hey, you got to wear a collared shirt. And I was like, can I wear a polo? They're like, yeah, you can wear polos. So that's when I got in the polo game. I started finding those. That was when Ariat came out with the oil field ones, but they were FR. And I had been working in the oil field, and I remember I saw a couple of the company men wearing them, like the long sleeve ones of them. And I was like, man, I bet they got those in short sleeve. And I started getting those. And, dude, it was cooler than wearing a T-shirt. Mm-hmm. Most of the time. Even wearing a white tee, it was cooler.
Yeah, I talk to my guys all the time. And they're like, yeah, man, these shirts are hot. And I'm like, dude, I used to work in the oil field. It's like they made us wear long sleeve FR. It's the hottest shirts you'll ever put on.
Oh, those tan ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you get the ones from the company, which the company are the cheapest ones that they can get you.
They're the Wranglers, usually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No Ariat, none of the nice ones. You get the Wrangler ones that are like, 12 mil thick?
Yeah.
And
you get out fucking weld in them.
Oh, yeah. You're out there dying. And then finally, you got to go buy your own. And if you're in the oil field or if you're in West Texas and you actually have to buy those shirts, dude, they're so freaking expensive. So expensive.
Coveralls are worse, though. I'll still take jeans in one of them shirts any day.
I had one of my buddies, Corbin. He always wore coveralls. When I worked
Coil, we could wear one of the either or. So it just depended on if you got issued the shit or not. So I was like, hey, if you guys will give me the JPEG file, I'll go get the shit stitched up. I'll get all these shirts stitched up. I'll get the right colored shirt and get them stitched up, but I'm not wearing fucking coveralls because I did wear them for a while and it was too fucking hot, dude.
We got to the point, I think it was a year before I left, and I found some of them, they weren't company spec on the mill. And I think we got like a 2 or a 3 mil. It was still FR. But then we took them to my buddy's wife's house and we had her iron on the FR patches. They were still FR, but they weren't the right mill. So we had her iron them on and we wore those all the time. And we're kind of skimming under the radar.
Nice.
But it got so hot, man. It got to
the safety Nazi.
Yeah, to the point where, man, the dust kicks up so much, and you get so many sandstorms, and it just starts going up your neck, starts going up your back. It's all in your clothes, and so I was a lineman in the oil field, and so we'd be up in the bucket, and technically you're like a one-man crew when you're up working power line like that, and it was just ridiculous at how hot it would get. So we kind of skimmed under the radar, trying to make that stuff work with a little bit lighter clothing. But yeah, some of the FR, it's super thick.
Yeah,
super thick.
It is. So, by the way, guys, I apologize. We didn't really introduce you, Halston. So let's tell everybody a little bit about you real quick, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're only 5 minutes in the episode. I haven't even talked about the guy yet.
So my name's Halston Holcomb. I have an excavation company now. I started off with just a borrowed chainsaw and a pole saw, and started renting out some dump trailers to get some brush hauled off. Kept doing that. Ended up buying my own dump trailer, and then just kind of stair-stepped my way up. And now I have 3 pieces of equipment. I have a 75 Kubota, I have a 97 Kubota, and then I have a 57 excavator. Most of our stuff right now is residential, and then we still do commercial work too. But I think the biggest point to hit on there is still started off with just a chainsaw. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of my claim to fame.
There you go.
As you can start off with nothing and still build your way up.
Oh yeah. I started with a rental skid steer and 2 guys and a roller.
Mm-hmm. I was renting skid steers until they were getting rented out from under me. And then I finally had to make a decision. Do I get something or do I not? And pulled the trigger, and we've been rolling ever since.
Yeah, I love hearing that story, because you always hear about the guy that, he's been in the dirt game forever. He gets an investor, and he can go out and buy a bunch of shit right off the bat. And then he's already doing the big jobs. Mm-hmm. Whereas guys like you and me and Devin, we start with nothing and work our way all the way up. And, it gives me hope that the guys that have to start from the bottom, they tend to be, I notice this, I don't know if it's the same with you, but I notice they tend to be more humble contractors. Mm-hmm. They tend to be more fair to their guys and not look at them quite as much as a number. And because they've been in the trenches with their guys a lot more times.
Oh, I was in the trenches today. I know y'all can't see it, but I've still got work pants on. I've got stains on them right now. I was out there today. I had a rim exit our trailer and left the lug nuts on it. So I've been out there dealing with that. And then, it's not always the pretty stuff, Even as a business owner, you're still getting your hands dirty, especially with me. Right now, I'll send my guys on one job, and then I'll do another job, and that's kind of how we cover the overhead right now. So I'm definitely not sitting behind a desk and just cutting checks. That's not even close to the truth. So
yeah, I got up to that level, and I'm back like you are now. I'm back out in the field every day, and today I was running all over town, but I got to almost every job today. I think, yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. But so what's your story with your company? When did you actually start?
So like we kind of previously talked about, I was working oil field, and then I found out I had a little boy on the way. And if you know anything about oil field, I hung my boots on the fence. That's an oil field thing, and you know what I'm talking about if you've been out there. So I came home, and I worked for an excavation company for probably about 5 months, and really took a liking to it. And then my dad had got a skid steer, and I had been playing around on it. He's real white collar. He just has a big ranch. And I'd gone out there, started toying around with it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I was still doing tree work, and I was still working with chainsaws, pole saws. I had nothing to do with that side until I was asked to do a job like that. And I still rented out equipment. I didn't use any of his stuff. I didn't have any of his help. And we can dive deeper into that, but I ended up paying him a ton of money when I kind of got screwed on rentals. But no, I had worked up on the tree side. It was picking up a little bit, and I kind of like to call it hits of when you do something good or you turn out a good job, you have a hit in your business or you have a hit and it kind of levels you up based off what you've done. So we would do a good clearing and then we would post some photos about it, and it was typically Facebook. And so people started liking it, and based off that, we had done a couple jobs where people really liked the work we were turning out. Okay, well what can I do on the next one to get to that second hit or that second bump up? And so it ended up, I did probably 4 or 5 jobs, and even did one for my brother-in-law where his entire entrance was just covered in greenbrier, brush, everything else. And I cleared it out, and I posted that one. That one went pretty good, and then I had 4 or 5 other people call me, and they wanted more work done. So I was like, okay, let's do that. And then I still went door to door talking to people every chance I could get. I had my little basket. I looked crazy, but I had my little basket of goodies, my business cards, and I was going door to door, every single business, trying to drum up more work. And then I happened to stumble in one guy's place, and he had a really successful business. And I went in there, and he was like, yeah, I need some land clearing done. I was like, I don't have a skid steer. I can probably get one, but I don't have one right now. And he was like, well, have you ever done it? I was like, no, I haven't, but this is kind of what I think it would cost to do something like that. And so I ended up finding a rental company that would work with me, got a skid steer from them, cleared an 1.5 acres with a skid steer and a bucket, which if you've ever done land clearing, don't do that. It's not good. It's not the right way to clear land. And it's really, really hard on the equipment. But I did that. It turned out really good. Posted that photo, and that was another hit, just kind of going up. And then I had more people calling me. And so I kept renting. And then finally, I was to the point where I was booking jobs, and the guy that I was renting from was renting the pieces of equipment out from under me. So I'd book a job a week in advance, and I would set everything up, and I'd go to pick up the equipment, and he was like, I don't have anything to rent you. I was like, what are you talking about? I need a piece of equipment right now. I've already sold this job. I got a deposit. Like, I have to get out to this job. And he's like, yeah, I can get you one in like 2 weeks. And I was like, 2 weeks? I was like, I've already sold this. I have a deposit on it. I mean, they want me to do this job now. What am I supposed to do? And he's like, oh, I don't know. So my dad had that unit, and I called him, and I was like, I've got to get this job done today. And I'll pay you the same thing that I'm paying the rental company for the same skid steer. Just let me use yours for one day. That's how it started. And he was like, all right, fine. But my dad's a stickler. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you mess up my stuff at all, you're paying to fix it. Mm-hmm. And so I know it sounds like a cliche story of him renting me stuff, but it's not really like that. We got to the point where I think I had gone through, the guy kept renting out from under me, and he was just blowing up, and I just could not get a piece of equipment off of him for anything. And then I think I was renting out 4 weekends in a row, 5 weekends in a row, and then I ended up calling in sick, saying I had COVID to my job so I could finish these other jobs. It was when the whole dilemma was coming on with COVID. So I would call in and say I'm sick and I got COVID. Well, I did never have COVID. I was going out and doing these jobs and trying to make this stuff work, and it just kind of blew up. And then finally he called me and he was like, you need to get your own machine. He was like, you're paying me this so-and-so amount. And I mean, I think I was paying him, the going rate for a skid steer. So per day. and he wasn't letting off of it because it was his brand new unit. He was like, if you're going to take this, you're going to pay me for it. And then it got to the point where I was paying 2 or 3 months of his monthly payment on that machine. And
when you find out what they charge, man, it makes your blood boil.
Oh yeah.
When you finance one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember when it was like, I don't know, 6-7 months when I first started out. I was renting a skid from the Kubota shop over here, and I'm not gonna name a name, but they wouldn't approve me at first when I first started because I just didn't have any business credit. So they're like, well, you can RPO one for a while. Cool. So we RPO'd one. And I think like 6 months into it, they converted it. I realized how much money they made off of me alone. And they probably had like 50, 60 rental units. And don't get me wrong, it's a business. They're supposed to make money. But then you realize how much money they're making. And like how little margin we have as a contractor. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, oh man, you're making all this money. It's like, no, it's not. It's going to everybody else but us. The fuel company, the rental company, the trucking company, the haul guy. Everybody makes money in this game, it seems, but us. I don't know what that's.
No, every single time.
And I tell people that, and they're like, you're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, then why is it every guy that comes on this show says the same fucking thing?
No, everybody thinks that we make so much money. And all they see is like a daily rate or like what we're charging for a day or maybe charging for a job. I'm like, before we even get out there, we're $600-$700 into getting a machine out there. Mm-hmm. There's not a ton of margin. We're not even close to 50%. That's kind of the going average.
Yeah.
And we're closer to 25-30.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
And that's on private work. Private work, it's a little easier to do that. Commercial?
Oh, no, they get you every single time.
You're over 20%, you ain't getting the job, dude.
Oh, yeah. And then I'm sitting here fighting call-outs for having a haul machine in. And I'm like, it's a call-out. You're calling us at 6, and you want us to be out there and dig some test holes. And I need 2 guys out there. I need 1 spot, and I need 1 digging.
Are you charging them? All right, when you're doing your contract, are you putting how many mobilizations you'll do in your contract?
So if our equipment is not on the job site, we're charging a mobilization fee.
Right. Do you have that in black and white though on your contracts?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Because I was about to say that'll screw you real quick because what they're starting to do, they've caught on to the game with us. They'll put in there, will require as many mobilizations as necessary to complete work. Fuck you.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
So what I do, I'm doing commercial, baby.
Yeah.
I see all the fucked up shit. That's all I see.
Yeah.
If you don't send the contract back and don't look like Swiss cheese, you're not doing your job right. Sorry. You don't know enough. And it's going to bite you in the ass. It should be 2 mobilizations, depending on what you're doing. Most of the time I give them 2. That is to go out and blow it out, mass grade. And second mob is I come back, I blue top, and I put lime down. Mm-hmm. Because I don't backfill curbs. I used to do it. I don't do it anymore. Because the concrete guy can do it. I'm sorry. They can. They have their own skid steer. They can fucking do it. They're there. They're wrecking forms. Backfill the curb. Not my problem. It's really not. I'll put the dirt where it needs to go. You can just spread it out. You're there. Why should I waste a skid steer and an operator sitting out there making no fucking money? Honestly, you don't make shit doing it. When you can be on the next job.
Yeah. I mean, everybody likes to take from the pile. If you're already out there, they're going to ask you for everything underneath the sun. It'll be to straighten their tie. Anything.
Yeah.
And as long as you're out there and you have a little unit or whatever, they go off of it completely, and they're gonna overstretch you every single time. Yeah. But that's where, just lately, that's where I've really dialed in on my contracts. I'm like, dude, it's not on our contract and it's not on the bid. We're not doing it.
There's a video that floated around years ago. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was either on TikTok when TikTok started getting big, or it was on YouTube. I don't remember. But it showed a guy and it said, year 1 as a contractor. Yeah, we'll do that. Whatever it's going to take, we're going to get the job done, Year 5. Fuck you, man. That ain't my fucking contract. Go fuck yourself. Where's my fucking money? Mm-hmm. And I went, oh, wow. I've been both those guys. I know exactly where he's at.
Oh, yeah. I've been there too.
It's one of those things that it's like, I absolutely love what I do as a job. Like, I love what I do. I love doing dirt work. I love building things. I love doing things that most people on this planet don't even know what we do. You know, I can't tell you how many times, you know, when I first met Stephanie, she's like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm in construction. Because most people, you just tell them you're in construction, they're just like, okay, you know, they don't really ask. Because honestly, I don't know how to explain this. You're going to understand what I'm about to say, but like, you tell people you do dirt work and they're just like, oh, you play with those big yellow tractors? Yeah, that's what I do. God, that's got to be so much fun. And you're like, it is fun. Yeah, that part of it's fun. But it's every fucking thing else you got to deal with on top of it that makes it not fun. You know, the only therapy I get anymore, there's 3 things. 1, doing this podcast. 2, riding my Harley. And 3, running equipment. If I got to do anything else that has to do with work, it's not misery. It's just, I guess nothing surprises me anymore.
Man, if you give them the chance, they're going to overstretch you every single time.
Oh,
that's just that's kind of how it is. And I think I'm on the same point now where I'm trying to figure out where I can find something that's kind of a release for me, because all I'm dealing with right now, even, 9:00 last night, and on the residential side, I know commercial is kind of different. Like, they mind their hours. But on the residential side, these people will text you at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and they want an answer to something. And you're sitting there and you're like, man, there's got to be some etiquette here that someone has to figure out that, dude, at 10 o'clock at night, don't call me. It can wait till in the morning.
I think the biggest thing I can recommend, what I did when I did do residential, was I had 2 phones. When me and my old partner had our first company, we went to Verizon and got work phones. And we would go out on a job, we give you that number. But as soon as it hit 5:30, I turned my phone off and threw it in the truck. I turn it on in the morning. Yeah, it'd be 17 missed calls or, 5 text messages. Hey, are you guys going to come finish this pond? It's done. No, it's not. Yeah, it's done. What's not right? Oh, well, I know I asked you to put that pile of dirt right here, but I actually thought about it. I want to move it over here. Yeah, that's great. I left. Machine's off. It's this much to do it. Oh, well, I'm just going to leave you a bad review on Google. Okay. Go for it. Is that going to make you sleep better at night?
That was the worst anxiety for me.
I used to care, and I think about the 3rd time I got threatened with that, I just went, do it. And nobody does. Because it's like, what do you have to prove? Like, I did what you asked me to do. And then you wait till I leave, which even, believe it or not, commercial, I know you're kind of getting into commercial, but I'm telling you, I'm letting you know up front and warning you, it's going to happen in the same shit.
Oh, no.
The superintendent will tell you on the job, you can't get them to sign anymore. It used to be you could go up there with a piece of paper and say, hey, everything's done, right? Yeah. Will you sign this? Yeah. I'd scan that shit and put it in our share drive for our job files. So when their project manager tried to pull some shit, I'm like, hey, you're signed off, baby. Anything you want, just let me know. I'll come do it, but it's going to cost you. They don't want to sign off on anything anymore. I have it in my contract that they have to sign off for blue topping. Do you know how hard it is to get them out of that job trailer to walk out there and just watch us shoot the shots in? They don't want to do it. So, I want to invest in it. I want to get a drone. I don't have it yet. The guy that I
got one in my truck.
Yeah.
Fly
No,
I
got a regular drone. I don't have a GPS drone.
Oh,
the topo drone. So I want to get. I talked to Devin about it, and we're thinking about we might just get one to split, and then we just bounce it between each other, so we do shit with it. But I was like, they're great. They're a lot of money, but I mean, the amount of money you'll save. Like, the guy I pay to do it, I don't mind doing it because I budget it in the job. But then I'm like starting to think about it. I'm like, I can go buy the freaking drone after 2 flights. What he charges me, and I could do it myself. Yeah, I got one of my guys wants to do it. He wants to get certified to do it anyway. So it's like, more than happy to pay for him to get his license and do all that, because just that little thing right there, that saving you a little money. But when they try to tell you something's not on grade, they're trying to tell you you're wrong. They try and tell you this, and then you can send them that drawing. And it says ONGD, ONGD, ONGD. Across the job site, they don't really have much to say then, do they?
No, they definitely don't. I mean,
Well, my concrete guy says it's off. That's great. Did you see the shitty ass laser he pulled out of his truck that wasn't even sitting in a box, and it probably ain't been calibrated since he bought it? And it looks like it's about 10 years old.
oh, the Bosch ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we still use.
Yeah.
But I can tell you they're not. They're not a.
Yeah, they're not accurate.
No.
No. So we bought a Transit. So anytime it gets real bad, where they're really arguing about it, just go out there with a story pole. We shoot it in old school.
If they know how to do that.
No, our guys do. They got a target on it and everything. We'll go out there, we'll shoot it and verify everything.
Yeah, but if even the job trailer guys even know what they're looking at.
No, you bring a surveyor out. You get the third-party surveyor to come out. That's the thing that I've learned to do. If you ever have grade issues, is you tell a GC, hey, you want to get this problem solved? Yeah, get your surveyor out here. Because we're going to sit here and argue for 3 days. And he's the surveyor on record, so have him sign off on it. Have him shoot it. That's all you can do. I mean, it's going to cover your ass.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I just have it in my contract, though, that anything that they ask us to do like that, they have to visually sign off on it. And it has to be signed off via email. Not a phone call, not a text. No, it has to be an email. And it goes in our daily report. We take pictures of him watching us verify it.
Well, it's covering your ass.
Well,
I mean, you have to now. You just
chestnut
word of mouth that it doesn't hold.
Chestnut checkers, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that you got to be like this now, but I know on the residential side you don't have to be as much, but I think it's the game now. The interest rates are kind of making it harder because what kind of screwed everything up. And I called this probably a year ago. I called this and everybody thought I was crazy, but I said, hey, enjoy this. We're in a renaissance right now. We're naming the price. We're getting whatever the fuck we want. We're doing jobs for stupid money right now. Enjoy it. It's not going to last. And I kept telling people that. And then guys just kind of kept that mentality. And they're not winning as much work. And they're like, man, I'm not winning as much. I'm like, yeah, because
it's so saturated now.
Well, that and
that's the biggest thing that you and Devin were talking about a race to the bottom, or it was either you or someone else, but on the residential side and just regular skid steer work, kind of for the upcoming guys, kind of like me who are just doing, majority skid steer work. It's a race to the bottom.
There should be no reason if you're doing any kind of grading work with a skid steer and residential work, you should be charging no less than $250 an hour for a fucking skid steer, like a 95. I'm not saying like a mid-size, but like a 95.
Yeah, full size.
It should be $250 an hour.
Or a 333.
Yeah, minimum $250 an hour, and a 4-hour minimum, because you got to cover your day.
Yeah, you might not have it. You're not going to get anywhere near that out here.
Yeah,
there's no way.
No, but the sad part is that's what you should charge. Your costs are fucking $150 an hour, at least. Your fuel, your payroll for yourself,
maintenance,
your truck, your insurance, your overhead. You got a shop probably you got to park it at. You got somewhere you got to park it.
Mm-hmm.
It's you got maintenance. You got to account for the maintenance. All the grease you got to do. You got to grease that fucking thing every day. You got to blow it out. Then you got to wash it. You're a small guy. You got to wash your shit all the time. That's your driving billboard. When I was small, we washed this skid steer as soon as we got back off a job because it was our billboard.
Yeah, I'm bad about doing that.
Yeah,
I need to get better on it, but I'm bad about it.
Once you go commercial, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah. I got a fucking skid covered in lime right now. It's out grading a fucking fire lane right now. I don't care.
I got one sitting in someone's pasture. It won't even start right now because of a fuel issue.
I shouldn't be that way. Devin would scold me for that because Mr. Devin over here has to wash his machines every time.
Oh yeah, his equipment is immaculate.
His guy,
but
I've run his stuff. He's got nice stuff, dude. And when we did that job in Fort Worth, man, it was they just get a little dust on him. He's like, I gotta take that back to the show. What are you doing? I'm gonna go wash it. I'm like, job's not done. I'll have it back out here Monday. He would. I tip my hat to him, man. He has good equipment. He takes care of his stuff, and his guys take really good care of their stuff, their tools, their trucks, everything. My guys are the same way though, and the guys I used to have weren't. They didn't care. They came from big companies. You know, the big companies, dude, you get new shit all the time. So it's just like, whatever. You know, you tear it up for 6 months and you know you're going to get a new truck, you know. And, you know, I told these guys, I said, we ain't getting new trucks this year, so you better take care of them. Probably ain't getting new trucks for a couple years. So you got to make them last.
That's what we went down to. So I run 3 Cummins trucks right now.
Yeah.
And I told them, I was like, we're just how everything's looking right now, we're not getting new trucks. And we run 06 to 03 to 06 third gen Cummins trucks or just Cummins trucks.
Yeah.
And they're reliable for us. The parts are kind of the same across the board. Makes it easy. Brake pads.
I'd rather be coming than stroking, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I own like 3 power strokes, but, you know, they're not mine. The company owns them. But it's just like, you know, my buddy, he owns an erosion control company. And he's big on Ford, and he listens to the show. And I talk to him all the time. I'm like, why'd you buy Cummins? He's like, bro, they want like 20 more fucking grand for a flatbed because he has to have flatbeds for all his stuff.
Is it extreme?
No. Oh. I'm not putting anybody's names out.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the guy from Extreme. He lives actually across the street from my uncle in Rockwall. I've never met him. We go over there for Christmas, and I always see his big flatbed sitting out there. I'm like, that's the guy who was Extreme. I always say that and then forget to go over and introduce myself to him and be like, hey, man, how's it going? You know?
Yeah, he does a good amount of work.
He's a good guy.
I don't know him personally, but I've seen his trucks a lot.
Yeah. I know most of the guys. You know, Cole's been on the show with Armor, good friend of mine. You know, there's some good cats out there, man. I know most of the guys in town, and they're good dudes. And it's just, you know, everybody I talked to lately is going through it, though. Like, everybody. My mom was just on the phone with one of our suppliers, I think it was yesterday or the day before. And she calls me. I'm out on the job site, and she goes, you're not going to believe this. I said, what? She says, you know, we took that hit last summer. She goes, we got it early, I guess, because this company's having to take loans out just to make payroll. This company's having to do this. Like, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, a lot of people act like they're past it, and I'll be the first one to tell you we went through it too. We're still going through it. We're still getting out of that hole.
Oh, it sucks,
and
man.
From this last winter, especially getting, 9 inches of rain, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And tornadoes, we completely hopped off excavation completely and started doing tree work again.
You got to.
And we just had to make that pivot. Mm-hmm. But the other excavation guys, they were just dead in the water. They couldn't do anything.
I couldn't do anything.
And luckily, I mean, I had the background in it. I could go out there with my guys and actually make something work with the equipment that we have. But it's not a joke. I mean, it's rough out here for excavation.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's just one of those things that you got to find a way. You know, like you said, you got to pivot. You got to find another niche or something. And I think I found it for us. I'm not going to talk about it because I love giving advice, but I'm not going to also shoot myself in the foot because people that live around here do listen to the show. So I love you guys, but once I figure out what I'm doing and it's working for me, I'll might throw a little carrot for that, but not right now.
Don't do it. There's going to be too many people that hop in on it. Just don't do it.
It's one of those, I love you guys. And I wish nothing but the best for you. You know, I'll support you best I can. I'll give a shout out for you whenever I can, but I got to feed my guys. I got to feed my family. They got to feed their families. So, sorry. Nothing personal. It's just business. And, you know, I used to hear people say that saying, and I was like, man, you're a fucking asshole. And most people that say it are. But when you do meet a legit guy that's like humble as shit about it, they're like, hey man, it's nothing personal, it's just business. That guy's probably pretty serious about that. He doesn't mean any harm by it. But I can't tell you how many times I've sat in a client's office like, oh, you know, it ain't nothing personal, it's just business. I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Oh, when it comes time to paying you? Yeah. I've had
that's personal to me because you're robbing me at that point. It's robbery. It literally is. It's, yeah. On a technicality, you're not paying me. But you know for a fucking fact, as a man, you're a piece of shit. And It is what it is. I mean, it's just, I owe people money. I won't lie about it. I owe tons of people money. I'm working on fixing it, but it's because people didn't pay me. Anybody that says anybody that says that they don't owe anybody money right now and they're in construction, they're full of fucking shit. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. They're going through it too. Everybody is right now. It's just finding a way to sit down and make a deal with them and saying, hey, I can't pay you this right now, but this is what we can do. Does this work for you? Yeah, that works. All right, cool.
I think the communication is the biggest part because I had, I know, we're just now getting back into commercial, but a year and a half ago, that's all we did. I let my entire residential side go do this commercial work, and
it's not all
we got had for almost $70,000, and I had my buddy from high school hauling in all these flex base loads, and I did it with him. One, because I wanted one guy doing it so that it would take longer, so I could do the progression payments, and the pad that we were doing was 5 acres. So we had 25 to 30 loads coming in. I had him do it so that, one, I could build it into progressions. We were building everything out. We were doing all of our stuff. Everything was signed off. We were good on it, and we were just rehabbing an old pad for a commercial project, and got done with it. And I was like, all right, we good? Like, everything's signed off, got the emails, everything's approved for a PO, and we never got paid. And he called me and he was like, hey man, when are you going to finish out this order? Because I paid him 50% down on material. And he was like, hey, when are we going to get the rest of this knocked out? I dropped all my loads. What's going on? And I was like, yeah, just give me a week. I mean, they should be sending the entire payment through. The pad's done. Everything's good. 6.5 months before we got paid. Put me in the dirt and ruined a friendship between me and a buddy. Now we're good. But there was a whole communication process that I had to go through with him and let him know the entirety of what was going on, saying it's not me. I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And everything's been signed off. Everything's fine. The pad looks great, all of it, but I still haven't been paid.
It's hard being the middle guy because we really are a middle guy. It's tough. It's almost like you want to just use the bigger accounts because they kind of get it more. You know what I mean? Like, you work with smaller guys, it's hard when you haven't been paid, and they're like, hey man, did you get my money? And you're like, no, I ain't gotten it yet. And it's always tough. That conversation's always tough, and nobody really wants to talk about that. That's something that I hear all the time. Guys talk on podcasts about employee shortage. We need new machines, and this is that. Okay, let's talk about the shit that's actually wrong with this industry. Like, one, we don't get fucking paid on time. That's a huge problem. Two, you have GCs that are legitimately going out of their fucking way trying to put people out of business, which is fucking bullshit. The laws are a fucking joke.
Or the GCs are wanting you to finance their entire project.
Yeah.
That's the new thing that I just now heard about.
Well, they got Italian marble floors, and they're all at the PGA Tour in Frisco about 2 months ago. I went on LinkedIn. You can see all the fuckheads up there, and they all know they're fuckheads. I don't care. And, good for you. I don't give a fuck. How about you write the fucking check, sign it, and you probably still have enough money to go to your PGA Tour. Okay? You fucking hired me. Fucking pay me. So I can pay my guys because it's a trickle-down effect. You're not paying me. I can't pay the suppliers. Suppliers can't pay their suppliers. That supplier can't pay their supplier. All it's doing is there's one guy up top. It's trickle-down bullshit. It's like the birds, that meme with the birds, and they're all shitting on each other. And the bird on the bottom's getting shit on the most. That's us. Because we're getting it both ways. We're getting it from our suppliers, and we're getting it from them. And it sucks. And you're caught in the middle, and it's like, what are we supposed to do?
I think I'll come back to it every single time. And, it looks like we make all the money and we have all this equipment and everything else, and that's not the case. And it's one thing to have a dispute on a job site, and if someone's actually bringing it up, or if it's a change order, or you're actually going through something on a job site, when you start messing with my money and then it starts messing with my guys' payroll, that's when stuff gets serious. Because now I look like I'm not providing for my guys. I look like I'm not one. There's equipment that's behind. So now, even if I do grow at all with the margins that we're actually working with now that are completely unrealistic, I can't even go buy more equipment if I wanted to, because now you're not paying me. So it means I can't make my equipment payments. I can't pay my guys. I can't put fuel in my machines, can't put fuel in my trucks. I got guys calling me, telling me, hey, there's nothing on the company card. I can't put any fuel in my truck. It's a gut-wrenching feeling, and it all happened because the GC didn't want to sign the check.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
And everybody thinks it's just you.
Oh, yeah.
Because your name's on the truck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's the most loneliest place in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. I don't wish it upon my worst enemy. It's I just went through it a year ago. I can tell you, bro. I'm right there with you. I did it.
Do you want to talk about the nightmares? I wake up, go check my bank account, because in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., I'm waking up checking my phone because I think something messed up on the job site, and I have to figure out if I was dreaming or if it was real.
I don't have nightmares. I don't let it get to me like that.
Oh, I do.
I have nightmares from other stuff, but not that. But it's never a problem to go talk to somebody either. You know, don't let anybody tell you you're fucking weak for that. Seriously. Fuck them. If they think you're weak, fuck them. Nothing wrong with jumping in the truck and driving down the street and go find somebody to talk to.
I've had plenty of those phone calls where I've called guys. I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing right now? And he's like, oh, well, I'm over here quoting this job. This is messed up. This is messed up. I'm like, no kidding. This is messed up on my job site. And you just have a little, conversation about, hey, man, what are you doing? And what am I doing? And those are kind of like little therapy sessions. Yeah. And I like that. And I got a guy that I call almost religiously, and he'll talk to me and he's like, man, I kind of went through something like that. This is what happened on mine. What's going on with yours? And we sit there and we'll talk for freaking an hour and a half at a time sometimes. And man, it's good. It's good getting that out. And I think that's another thing that I needed to commend you on, is bringing that kind of mental health awareness to your podcast. You really kind of harp on it, and it's just not getting spread enough. It really isn't.
It's costing me listens, believe it or not. Some guys are like, man, it's just part of being in business for yourself. I'm like, no, you're just a fucking idiot, but okay.
The old heads were raised up doing that. I've been in the oil field. I've seen it all the time. Yeah. If you're not got dirt under your nails and your hands aren't falling apart, and they go through this whole thing, but they're also on their fifth wife and their life's a wreck. They don't want to admit it, and they didn't want to talk to anybody. But it's like, I've been with my wife for going on 8 years now.
Our generation is similar to their parents' generation. A lot of people don't realize that. We're not the boomers. My generation's millennial, but millennial, I'm right on the cusp of it. I'm the cusp of Gen X and millennial. I'm 88. So it's like kind of one of the...
I still don't understand the gens.
Yeah.
I really don't. I can't relate.
I still played outside and played video games. But it was like, I played video games for like an hour. It wasn't all fucking night. And all my friends weren't on fucking Xbox Live. You know, like Xbox Live came out when I was like in fucking high school. You know? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Like, I had a job from the time I was like 12. You know, I worked for my uncle and shit. And then, you know, I worked real jobs after that. But I mean, you know, I jumped in the truck with him in the summer and worked for him. It's just, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it anymore. I've talked about it so much, and all I try to do is help. And when you get literally someone talking shit about you because you're trying to help someone, I'm just like, dude,
it's kind of ridiculous. The guys that are going to be talking shit, or the guys that are really harping on it, they got their own bag of issues. They're just not saying it.
I will say this. This is something that I tell people all the time. If you've literally been to places where you've watched people be oppressed for literally going to school, not kidding either, and they chop their ear off for that because they learned how to read after the age of 9, And literally all they want is just the right to do that. When someone does talk shit on the podcast or whatever, I remember I'm like, that's why I love this place. You don't agree with me. You called me out. That's good. Because that's the problem with nowadays with society. If you call someone out and they don't like it, they'll just do everything they can to offend you or get you shut down or whatever because you said something they don't agree with. Fuck you, dude. Like, you know, there's people that talk shit about us all the time. I don't give a fuck. I don't. That's good. Haters are good. You need to have haters. You don't want everybody to like you.
Who said that? Cat Williams. If you ain't got no one to hate on, feel free to hate on me, bitch. You know my hair is luxurious.
Dude, I'll tell you, you know, if somebody ain't hating on you, you ain't doing it right. It's true, though. I mean, it's just, you know, there's people talk shit about me. They talk shit about my company. They talk shit about podcasts. Probably talk shit about everything about me. I don't give a fuck.
No, I get it all the time.
I don't
care. At the same time.
Because you know what? If you ain't feeding me, you ain't fucking me, and you ain't fucking paying me, I really don't give a fuck. Truthfully, I don't give a fuck what you think. I really don't. I used to care what people think when I was like 18. And then I realized something as a man. No one gives a fuck. Do what you got to do. Provide for your family. Take care of your guys. And try to be right with the Lord. If you can do those 5 things in life, man, you pretty much got it made. Because at the end of the day, you come into this world kicking and screaming and covered in someone else's blood. And then you die. And what you do in between those 2 things, that's on you. If you want to be a good person, be a good person. You want to be a shithead, be a shithead. That's between you and the man upstairs. That's how I feel about it. So, do you, man. You know, I used to get angry all the time about these GCs not paying me and stuff. Now I just go, I'll pray for them. That's all I can do. You know, it's a lot of people now, they just want to talk shit. And, you know, there used to be a thing back in the day. It was TSGH, talk shit, get hit. That's why I grew up. You run your fucking mouth and you get punched in the fucking mouth. You know, it's real easy to sit behind a keyboard and talk shit. So that's cool. Whatever. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. Bring your stuff out here. Bring out your equipment. Start doing what you think we do or what we don't do. And then let's go apples to apples on it. And I guarantee you 99% of the time, you're not going to be doing the same thing that we do. It's just not. And I mean, it's like if I was going whatever for any reason, if I was coming out to your job, my first thing would be, what can I learn off this guy? Mm-hmm. And if you're really a humble person and you're really trying to grow and if you have a real business owner that you're talking to, it's a completely different story. We all want to learn. Everybody wants to eat. And it's a completely different mindset of, hey, what advice can he show me? And then if I can show him something different, then cool. If I'm below someone, if I came out to your place, you're going to be showing me stuff because you're a lot farther along. But at the same time, I've got guys that...
You might show me something, though, that I don't know. You know, my guys teach me something every day. My guys do. Guys that work for me. I've got guys that are older than me who work for me. I just learned something about the GPS today on the dozer. You know, there's a setting you can set inside your dozer where you can have one part of your blade touch the ground and the other part will only pick up windrows. I didn't know that. I've run fucking GPS dozers for 10 years. I didn't know that shit. I just learned that today. I mean, you know, you should never stop fucking learning.
Being humble is wanting to learn something new.
Absolutely.
Anytime you can.
And I learn something on every job we do. Do you know why I got good at reading contracts? I'm not perfect yet. I'm not by any means.
Because everyone was trying to fuck you. That's why you got good at reading contracts.
Yeah, you get fucked enough, you get good at this shit. When you get punched in the mouth, that's the best lesson in life, man. I don't care what anybody tells you. Because life, there ain't nothing that hits hard in life. I know I say that all the fucking time, but it's true. Ain't nothing that hits hard in life. And life in construction is figuring out how to get through the minefield without stepping on one. That's all it is. That's literally all you're trying to do is avoid the fucking mines. That's all you're trying to do. And once people can figure that out, they got it made. You know, you want to know who to work for? Pick up the phone and call some people. Call other companies in the area. You want to get into a new type of work? Find somebody that does it. Find out how they did it. You want to grow your company? You know, have a fuck ton of cash. Don't put a shitload on credit cards. Don't go fucking get these stupid ass MCA loans and shit. They're just going to fucking hammer you. It looks great in the beginning. Oh yeah, we'll give you $250,000. You only got to pay back $7,500 a week. You end up paying $700,000 for $250,000. Who the fuck would do that? You know, it's just you gotta find ways to skin the cat without waking the cat up. That's all it is.
What do you think the best way to be growing your business with risk management based off your experience and kind of doing it the right way? Do you think rolling heavily in cash and having paid off equipment? Do you think there's a line that you can draw with financed equipment and having your own personal equipment that's paid off? What would your best advice be to growing a business?
Straight up, I'm still learning that answer, but you got to realize there's going to be months you make a lot of money. There's going to be months you don't make shit. And you got to keep that money in the bank because there's a month that you don't hit your nut. Something happens. You just can't get it done. Somebody holds you up. GC holds you up. Trade holds you up. You know, you can't get enough fucking trucks. Your guys are sick. You know, oh, I can't work tomorrow. My baby mama got fucking this going on. I got to go to court. I got, you know, and, you know, Devin will probably tell you something a little different than me on that one, but I'm going to be straight up with you. You have a bad month, that's when you take the good month and you roll that cash forward because it's going to take you a long time to really, really make money. Like you can make money, but it's going to take you a few years. It's not going to be overnight. You know, you should be able to pay yourself a decent salary though. You know, 3 to 5 years. No, I'm not saying go. I'm not saying $5,000 a week here either, guys.
If y'all are making $5,000 a week, let me know how you're doing it.
Jesus.
Take home. Yeah, let me know how you're doing that one.
Yeah. I don't mean it like that, but I mean like, you know, you should be within a few months to be able to at least pay your bills for your house and stuff like that. You should be making enough money that you can pay yourself something. I'm not saying a lot, but
you know, peak season,
the basic needs here.
Yeah.
The equipment thing, oh, that's a tough one to figure out. Try to do like a RPO deal for a while with like a rental company. They'll do it. And they usually will drop the price a little bit. That'll help you. Because that'll kind of give you an idea of, can I make this payment every month? Because an RPO, you got to pay it no matter what. It's not like a rental where you can just call it, you know, when it rains for a week and go, hey, I need a rain week. You know, I'm not paying rent for this week. You know, I don't know if, you know, everybody knows that, but most rental companies, if you call and tell them, hey, it's rained out here for a week straight, I ain't been able to work, they'll usually hook you up, but depends on the
I didn't know that one. Yeah. I haven't gone through that situation yet.
I do it all the time.
I get we hauled off 18,000 yards of dirt from I'll say South Dallas, and it took us, I think I rented the equipment for a month straight. It took us 3 weeks to get out the first 9,000 because of rain, and then it took us 3 days to get out the other 9,000.
Yeah, I was about to say you should have got that out in about 3 days. 4 days tops to do 9. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get approved on a road.
Oh.
And then someone else came in and built the road with a loop, which you can't do. Mm-hmm. So they were trying to run the trucks on the same road, which was 1 truck length wide on end dumps. And that was not happening.
No.
And we had to push out every single end dump with a D3.
Yeah.
and we even broke the torsion bar off the front of it. And
Probably should have had a little bit bigger machine out there for that one.
Well, it was really just it was finish grading and kind of pushing the dirt back up to it. But
Perfect.
even on the excavator, we're still using a 210 deer.
Perfect size for that kind of situation. Just giving you some advice. Get you like a 750. It's perfect. You could have done all that. And about a 320 cat, you'd have been perfect. So like a 290 John Deere, you'd have been set. You'd have done all that. Just trying to pass along some advice for you.
Absolutely. I'll take it.
You know, when it comes to mulching trees, I'll probably call you because I don't know shit about that stuff. I just rent the head when I need it. And
I can give you the advice on that. Don't do it.
Yeah. Everybody
there's no money in mulching.
It used to be a lot of money, supposedly.
There's no money in it.
I know tons of guys that do it, and none of them make any money.
No, there's if anyone tells you there's money in mulching, unless you're running a dedicated unit. One, if you're running a skid steer with a mulching head, absolutely no money in it, and you're going to total out that skid steer trying to run that mulching head on it. It's not worth it. Mm-hmm. And then if you do have a dedicated unit, the amount of cost and labor that it takes you to even get that unit out there, you're at slim margins, real slim. And the maintenance on a dedicated unit is so high that I'm sorry, I'll be the advocate for it. I've done a ton of mulching. I can vet myself and say I've done my fair share of it, and there's no money in it. There's no money in it. I want to get out of it as fast as possible.
I don't blame you.
I hate it. Absolutely hate it. It's ruined my skid steer.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, Holston, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we touched on a lot of good points. I think we got some stuff out that everybody wants to hear. And, thank you for bringing me on the show. I've been a huge fan and a huge watcher of it since the beginning. And I think
really
y'all have a
appreciate that.
ton of good content to put out, especially on the education side of it. And I'm just really glad you gave me the opportunity to come on.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you supporting the show, and I appreciate you coming on and passing some wisdom on. Been a great guest, gotta tell you.
Good, I hope so.
Yeah, you were all nervous. I'm like, dude, you're gonna be fine.
No, I was ready to kick me out.
Oh,
He
whatever,
won't shut
man.
up.
No, I like a guest that talks, man. I don't like to talk that much, believe it or not. So if you would, guys, give us our 5 stars on Spotify and like, rate, and review on Apple. And if you are watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. And follow us on TikTok and the Gram. And I don't have anything else. And we'll see y'all next time. Stay classy. Have a good night.